Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate, the Wednesday edition of the show. I'm your host, Tate Frazier. We got a fun show today. We're going to have one big guest, Jeffrey Kessler, a big-time lawyer who is representing Brendan Sorsby, is going to join us, and he's going to break down what kind of has happened throughout this saga. In case you missed it, story of the week, Sorsby and Texas Tech are mutually parting ways. We'll get to all that and more, but first and foremost, let's say what's up to our guys. Van Lathan in studio. What's up, Van?
Motherfucking tiger, bro. Raise the roof. You know what I'm saying, brother? Raise the roof.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. We also got Joel Anderson. What's up, Joel?
Man, good to see y'all, man. What's popping?
Not too much. We've got World Cup going on, College World Series happening in real time. NBA Finals finally wrapped, Stanley Cup wrapped as well. I sent a video to you, Joel. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We had a German fan in Houston dancing to Boozy Wipe Me Down. And it just felt like one of those, connective tissue moments just for humanity there. Do you enjoy that? Houston doing well.
I feel like Germans would really like Houston. Houston.
They're having a great time.
Yeah,
that's,
man.
That's what I can see.
Those are places that kind of align. And Houston is a place where people like to go have fun. You know, like the last episode, I talked about how people kind of want to go there to indulge their inner nigger. But it really is a fun.
You think that's what the Germans are going there for?
I mean, she was at a club with
the Germans need to watch out. I don't know, look, it's been a long time since they started getting crazy, but it ain't been that long. They need to watch out. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean? No, because German, man, look, in Texas, man, especially you go into the hill country part where my great grandmother used to live, like Germans run all up and through there. In Texas,
isn't there a town, New Brunsfeld, that's like an all-German town?
New Braunfels, Fredericksburg, all those places.
That's a little west of Houston, though.
Yeah. It's even west of San Antonio.
That's west, because I know people that live there. They also know what else they got in Texas. Schlitterbahn, which is also German. Schlitterbahn is the shit. You ever go to Schlitterbahn before, Joe?
Oh yeah, man, I've been to both of them. I went to the one in New Braunfels for 8th grade. For our 8th grade trip, and then there was one in Galveston. I don't know if it's still there, but they used to have like another Schlitterbahn. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, man.
So let me tell you something. For some reason, when I was a kid in Baton Rouge, a Schlitterbahn commercial came on, and they made Schlitterbahn look like the greatest fucking place in the world to go to a water park. Like, you want to go to Schlitterbahn, and just had it in my mind. It's like, Van, what do you want to do? It's like, I want to go to Schlitterbahn. What do you do for your birthday? Birthday, we take the summer. I was like, want to go to Schlitterbahn. Want to go to Schlitterbahn. And I eventually got to go. And it was amazing. That's the last water park I've been to, because water parks are fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they're like 85% pee in the water.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't even know how to swim, but when you're of that age, I guess I'm trying to think of the age, like 8 to 16 or 8 to 15. A water park is the shit, bro. Because you're seeing girls for the first time in bathing suits. It's kind of like a club, because it's kind of, you're just kind of all around hanging out in the pool or the hot tub, and you get
dropped off. Your parents leave you there. Yeah, you're kind of like contained.
But then if you go to Blue Bayou. See, we had Blue Bayou in Baton Rouge. Y'all heard Lil Wayne rap about that. Like the wave pool at Blue Bayou.
I know.
And I wave, fool, as I blew
Bayou.
Ooh. Yeah, that he's talking about Blue Bayou Water Park.
I didn't even know that.
Blue Bayou's, it's right. Like it's Baton Rouge. Blue Bayou is in Baton Rouge. They might say, oh, it's right outside Baton Rouge. You go, no, that's Baton Rouge. That's Baton Rouge. Blue Bayou's in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And you go there, and that one was cool. The thing with Blue Bayou is, when everybody goes to Blue Bayou, that's when you would see your classmates and stuff in their bathing suits.
Yeah.
Everybody going crazy.
That's
right.
What
I'm saying? Like everybody going crazy. Everybody go to Blue Bayou, like, oh shit, man. This ain't the 8th grade no more, nigga.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
9th grade.
You might go see other, and like we went in 8th grade, so the end of the year is like a class celebration, and so then we were seeing girls from other schools. They were doing the same thing, and it'd be like, yo, what's up? Will y'all go to, I don't know, Mo City Middle or whatever? It was kind of live, man. McAuliffe, shout out McAuliffe Middle School.
I bet Beyonce was there once upon a time, Joel.
I'll bet you did.
It's Beyonce. I will say this: if you guys Google Schlitterbahn,
Oh, you want me to go ahead?
It
and do
hasn't been all roses at Schlitterbahn.
Oh, some bad
That's all I'm
things
saying.
happening. What's going on?
And there's been some other things that have happened in some Schlitterbahns across the country.
Oh no!
I don't want to raise the roof for that. Like,
No.
I was raising it for Billy, FYI. Billy just
okay.
popped
I don't
in.
want to. So there's been some stuff that's happened. I covered it when I was at TMZ.
Oh man, that wave machine. Oh shit.
They had a giant slide too that was like the tallest and fastest in the world, and then like people that weren't. That's the park, right, where the people were not supposed to go on it because they weren't old enough or tall enough or something, and like they didn't survive this massive, insane slide that they had.
Yeah, something happened. Something really bad happened at Schlitterbahn. Yeah. I don't want to talk about Schlitterbahn. They have a whole bunch of people who go, "Oh, they don't know what happened at Schlitterbahn." I covered what happened at Schlitterbahn, and it was fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. So I've been to Texas. I've never been to the Schlitterbahn in Kansas City or whatever. Let's not bring the pod down.
Galveston.
Yeah, let's not bring it down.
Galveston.
That's where it is? Galveston?
Galveston is the other one.
I feel like that's like a part of the podcast lore at this point. Galveston, Texas. Man, we have to go there.
Galveston's so fun, man. I used to go down there when I lived in Houston, man. I took my wife down there when we were dating. And, she's from the Bay. And, so she's used to like beautiful beaches that people wear coats to walk on. They don't really use it as a beach. And so she just said, like, I mean, she saw people, drinking in the middle of the median and shit. I mean, Galveston's kind of, it's not a beautiful place. It's a fun place. And so she's like, Galveston's kind of wild, isn't it? And I was like, yeah.
You know what I think of when I think of Galveston, Texas? I think of Robert Durst from the Jinx.
Oh, bro. Man.
That's where he was hiding out.
Man. Yeah, man. That
nigga was crazy.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
Very crazy.
Yeah.
That was
that dude is way up there for craziest niggas ever, bro. I'm serious. I'm serious, bro.
Wow.
Think about it. If you just that guy is fucking nuts, bro. He's way up there.
Hold on.
Craziest motherfuckers around, dog.
Robert Durst is dead, right? Okay, yeah, he just died a few years ago.
Yeah, remember when he went in the bathroom, mic'd up, and looked in the mirror and was like burped and said he did it? That was crazy.
Yeah, even that's crazy. He was just killing people, bro.
Yeah, man.
Insane.
Like,
I'm saying anyway, man.
Yeah, so that's my Galveston, Texas story. I want to shout out Myrtle Beach. That was my water park.
That was your water
park?
Great
times. Yeah. Find people from all over the state.
Was it in North Carolina or South Carolina?
South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are terrible stories out of these Schlitterbahns. Like how is this still a functioning
we talked
place?
About the girls though. We just told you about like what goes down, if you go to Schlitterbahn.
Yeah, Joel said it was the first club he ever went to.
I didn't say it was. Well, it probably was though.
Yeah, he's great. I can't imagine you're going to other clubs.
No, but Houston had a teen club, as I mentioned here. We had drumsticks. There was something on the north side that I never went to.
Oh my god,
drumsticks!
Teen clubs are crazy. I don't think that should exist.
No. Yeah, in retrospect.
Hey, Tate, I just sent you a video of the Kappa Beach party. Click that.
Oh man, tough. Oh my god, come on, man. Oh. TNA flicks. I can't look at this on my work computer, can I?
Don't do it, Joel.
I'm not gonna
stay safe out there.
Yeah, I was at Kappa Beach party. I lived to see the tail.
Look, look at these videos. This is somebody mama trying to act like y'all mamas wasn't shaking ass, man.
I wanted to go to Freaknik so bad. I was like my first year in college was like the last. Like my first couple of years of college, were like the last two of Freaknik.
Yeah, we just missed it. We just missed the era.
Yeah.
When did it wrap up?
96, 97. That. Like
right as the internet was about to take off.
98.
Probably smart.
Yeah. I mean, they had like some really bad incidents, like that. Women getting grabbed and motherfuckers were showing up that weren't really in college. I'm sure Vance saw the documentary on Freaknik, right? They ran. Was it on?
I did
Hulu?
see it.
Yeah, something like that. Peacock, whatever. It was good. It was interesting. It made me miss that time. And what I thought Freaknik was going to be when I got down there. Kappa Beach party, pretty good. But again, they ran them motherfuckers off. They're like, we don't want you down here with that nigga nonsense ananymore, So
it all started at the water parks, though. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the first step to get there.
My first little taste of the nightlife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There you go. Shout out to all the people that are enjoying the World Cups. It's fun to see all these different, countries represented in all these different cities. Cool to see like Curacao score a goal. I know they got blown out by Germany, but just the reaction, the coach is crying, first goal in the World Cup. Just watched the Congo tie it up with Portugal.
Oh, down there in Houston. That's right.
Yeah, that was down in Houston as well. So a lot of stuff happening in the World Cup. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Let's get to college football. Big story of the week. As I said at the top of the show, Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech, mutually parting ways. Sorsby will not play college football in 2026. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but now it is official. Also, Texas Tech will not seek a return of any money already paid to Brendan Sorsby. Van, when you saw this story, what was your reaction?
I was interested to see what the response would be. There are certain things that happen sometimes where people want the outrage or they want their disdain, but they also kind of want the thing to happen. And I was kind of curious at who actually wanted Brendan Sorsby to play for this to be an ongoing story throughout the college football season, and who would spike the football over him not being able to play. I think insofar as I think a lot of people would say that college football kind of set a cultural standard about what it is that they would accept, and whether or not you like that or hate it. It seems that the college football world right now does not want a player that was gambling on his own team to be able to suit up. And they went about trying to get the Sorsby situation handled in any ways that they could. I'm not so sure if they would have used the nuclear option in the case of this, if they were willing to go that far, but they certainly made them feel like they were.
Absolutely. Joel, obviously we were kind of on opposite sides talking about this last week with Jay Billis, a lot of speculation about what was going to happen, but there were so many moving parts here. The Big 12 coming out, filing their own lawsuit in this situation.
Ken Paxton fuck Tech, man. He really did.
it was a lot of shots fired all over the place, but your reaction, Joel, when you saw this news?
I think, above all, I think about the people that say that Brendan Sorsby got away without getting any punishment, or that that he was basically going to get away with it had he played. I don't think they really are thinking about what has happened to his name here over the last month or two, about how long it's going to take for him to outlive. Well, this isn't the first, in the first paragraph of his obit someday. You know what I mean? It's going to take him a long time, and he's going to have to perform in such a way that people look back on this and they're like, oh, it's like when it'll be like, you remember when Randy Moss got kicked out of Florida State and then in Notre Dame? It'd be that kind of story like that. He would have to be not maybe that good, but good enough that this is going to fade into the background.
Where it supersedes that conversation.
Yeah. Nobody remembers that about Randy Moss.
Oh yeah, nobody does. Yeah, not anymore.
That was destroyed by the time Randy Moss finished his Marshall career.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
could have been. Yeah. But but the thing is, his name still carried a hint of controversy or whatever.
I mean, even Allen Iverson in the bowling alley. It's the same thing.
It took. It's not like Randy was interested in building his reputation in some sort of other way. He was himself. He was comfortable being himself, which is great. But a lot of people took that to mean that he was some sort of a malcontent or a bad guy or whatever. And it took him retiring and people finally getting a chance to hear him and see him talk before sort of the stench of that those earlier troubles went away. And I think that that's what's going to happen with Brendan. And so again, for people that suggest that he got away with this, I think that you're not really thinking about how this has impacted his life. Again, I'm sort of agnostic on what the punishment should have been. I think people know that. Like you could have made a case for me for 2 games. You could have made a case for me for 12 games. But the thing about this is that I just hope Brendan is okay and that he can just move on and get beyond this. And I hope that college fans, now that there will be no more scandal, no more questions about the integrity of the game, you can live comfortable in your knowledge that gambling isn't affecting any outcome of any football. You're going to be seen. You see me winking my eye. That's a YouTube thing. You know what I'm saying? I winked my eye at people to let people know that that's bullshit. Okay. But yeah. And then the final thing that I just thought was funny is that like so much has happened in the world. So many horrible things happen to people, even in sports. Like there's just things that you can stand up and say, hey, we don't support this, or we do support this, or whatever. And I just had never seen people come together like this in college football, just be united and feel so comfortable. I like University of Michigan is like, we're not going to play Texas Tech to show them that we don't agree with their lack of ethics or whatever, integrity
in any sport. I mean, they're not going to play them in volleyball. Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, when was the last time colleges did this? Like when they were trying to enforce the color line in football, like in the 19, like when was the last time the colleges were combining together?
Unified.
We're not going to play that team because of this. And I would suggest that that's stupid, but I'm glad that, he's moving on, and hopefully he'll be able to rebuild his career and rebuild his name, and everybody can feel great about the lack of effect gambling has on the games they watch every Saturday.
One other news nugget here that came out after the fact. Brendan Sorsby's agent, Ron Slavin, came out and said that he claims Cincinnati knew about the gambling addiction and took no action. He said, quote, if anybody should be questioned or catching heat, it should be Cincinnati, because they knew for 2 years, never said anything, and didn't do anything about it. That's the part of the story that gets lost, end quote. Van, what do you think about that revisionist history? Instead of Texas Tech taking the heat, they're saying now his agent saying Cincinnati should be the ones involved.
That's funny.
I mean, look, Brendan Sorsby is a young man. He's a young man. And I believe in second chances, third chances. I believe in too many chances, right? At a certain point, though, Brendan Sorsby is responsible for his healing, of course, and he's also responsible for his gambling. It wasn't the University of Cincinnati, it wasn't the Texas Tech, it wasn't Indiana, it wasn't any of those things that made Brendan Sorsby gamble. Brendan Sorsby got into gambling, and he's also been very brave and courageous from everything that we've heard in getting himself out of gambling. But to me, the way I look at it is, once again, we talk about the difference in college sports. We talk about the differences in what it is and what it means to be a student athlete. You can see those differences in the way that this story is being talked about, because we're talking about how young this guy is. We're talking about what programs owed him in terms of steering him in the right direction, in terms of providing a safe spot for him. Some people are saying that he was owed, we talked to Kessler, he was owed football as part of his rehabilitation. It's just something that you don't have, a conversation you don't have about a 25 or a 26-year-old person. It's just not. So we're still on the line in terms of what we believe college sports can be, how much we actually owe these athletes, and then how much these athletes actually owe themselves and their universities and the programs that they are playing for. And until we get more finite answers on that, we're going to have cases like this that kind of live in the ether of everything.
Yeah, and blur the line for everybody involved, which is, a tough spot to be in. Joel, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Van is right about that. I also too see the problem with portraying, Sorsby as he's a victim in this. He is a grown man, and basically he's a professional. I mean, he got money to play football, to move down to
That's
Texas
kind of the
Tech.
contradiction. It's like these are kids that we have to worry about, but then also they're grown-ups who are professionals. You know what I mean? That's where we're having trouble trying to dissect it.
I think the thing is that I speak of it as a 48-year-old man. So when I hear of a 23-year-old, I do see a man, but I also know the 23-year-old is still not fully a man. Yeah, I see a man. You look at it and it's like, oh, that person physically looks like a man, but that doesn't mean that in terms of what?
Nothing, just go ahead. Like,
are you being were you trying to be homophobic?
No.
No, I wasn't at all. Wow, Joe. Wow.
I think he was asking for clarity,
bro.
Okay, what happened? All right.
That's tough, man. Why would you say that?
Man, I want to talk to you about this tough thing because I've noticed this, and it's like I mean, man, I'm sure somebody's wanted to fight you over Tough before, because when you know that Van is like dismissing you or thinks something is really fucked up when he says that's tough. You know, it's just like, oh, he think you said something so stupid. It's just it's the most disrespectful rejoinder.
Joe, we were on the bus and there was a guy named Aaron. I can't believe you just brought this up. We was on the bus and there was this guy named Aaron. And look, I didn't think there was anything wrong with the shirt. He had a Hilfiger shirt on, and that bitch had cherries all over it, right? And I didn't think there was anything wrong with the shirt. The shirt, to me, is a Hilfiger, but it had cherries all over the shirt. Hold on, I wonder if I can find it. Like
that was an interesting choice, man, especially at that age. But yeah,
it was, bro.
I would say that's tough.
I wouldn't.
It had cherries all over, and people were like, people was like, "Yo, Van, like, fuck the shirt, fuck the shirt, fuck the shirt. What you think of a nigga that wear cherries?" And I was like, it's tough, man, you know, because as soon as I said it's tough, the whole bus started laughing. I had to fight Aaron. I didn't even say nothing. I had to fight Aaron.
You had to answer.
Soon as I said, I was like,
that's tough,
man. It's tough because as soon as I said tough, the whole bus started laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and he didn't care until Tatiana started laughing. When Tatiana started laughing, he couldn't handle that. He was like, "All right, it's tough. All right, cool. Wait till we get off the bus."
Oh,
I was like, well, I'm a motherfucking tiger then. You want to get to it like that?
Okay,
I'm a motherfucking tiger then.
Did y'all tussle? What happened?
We fought. Like
little roughhousing.
Did you win?
Yeah, we fought. Yeah, I whooped his motherfucker. I'm not even gonna bullshit you.
For real?
I mean, I would think you have a good chance if he has cherries on his shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know. I mean, he was small. He was a smaller dude. Well, I feel like once we got off the bus, though, he didn't really want to even do it. Like talking about.
Oh, he kind of lost the smoke in his voice, huh?
A little bit. Like we got off the bus because we got off the bus and then like a bunch of people that wasn't a bus stop.
Yeah,
but they got off the bus. I don't even know how they got home. A bunch of people that wasn't but they got off the bus anyway to see it. And then I think he thought, because me and him at the same bus stop, I think he thought that me and him was gonna get busy and like nobody was gonna be there.
Yeah, like
but by the time we got, but by the time when it was time to get off the bus, everybody was like, "Oh shit, I'm getting off the bus too. I'm getting off the bus too. I'm getting off the bus too."
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I'll walk home.
Can you imagine though missing your? Because in special, this is the 1990s, right?
Yeah, this is 95.
Yeah, so you miss your bus stop. There's no telling how the Van had a very good question. How the fuck did those people get home? That's how bad they got home. See that fight, you know?
Because a lot of them, to be honest with you, and we got to get back on topic, but a lot of them, because we in Gardere, so that's like nowhere near McKinley.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like nowhere near McKinley. McKinley in the south. Gardere is south of McKinley. McKinley is back by LSU. I guess it is kind of near McKinley. Nothing in Baton Rouge is that far away.
Would you walk it though?
No.
See?
Fuck no. I mean, you could walk it. Like I've taken longer walks just because I walk a lot.
Yeah.
But nah, you're not walking from. Let me look at it right now. Like you.
But if you just watch the fight, you have a group that has to make the walk together. Maybe it's like a nice, decompression walk.
But bro, I mean, again, like I remember one time the reason I got a cell phone is because my car broke down on the freeway. At the intersection of 610 and 59 in Houston one night. I was coming back from a football game with my homeboy Jabari, and I had a little 87 Honda Civic.
It's 15 miles.
15 miles.
No, actually, wait. No, it's not 15 miles. It's 15 minutes from McKinley to Gardere. It's 8 miles.
Oh no, you can't walk that. That's
a lot. 8 miles is a lot.
And by the way, you're gonna have to walk up Burb. It's not like you walk in places where it's like sidewalks to get to it and shit like that. You're gonna have to walk,
Because I've seen McKinley before, at least McKinley High, and it doesn't seem like it's near much. And again, walking that part of Baton Rouge to anywhere does not seem like a walk that you would just want to make. It's not a leisurely, enjoyable walk. So yeah, man, they really wanted to see that fight, man. How about that? That's tough. What were we talking about before that?
Brendan Sorsby.
You were just saying about the tough thing, but Brendan Sorsby, yeah.
Oh, that's tough. But yeah, well, yeah, I just, so the interesting thing that hold on. There was one thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, here it is. And Jeffrey Kessler's going to talk about this later. I mean, again, man, we're going to see more Brendan Sorsby's. Like the thing is, people can think that he was being really cynical by saying that he was a gambling addict or whatever. But I've written about this before, and any of you that just know people of college age or whatever know that gambling is just becoming a thing. Like you've got gambling on your phone, like two addictive things together. They've combined them, and you can gamble on whatever the hell you want to now. Because, and again, a lot of people think they're smarter than they are. A lot of people want to enjoy sports in a way, and the people that are most vulnerable are in that demographic with Brendan Sorsby. So, I hope that college football is prepared for that. I hope that college football fans are prepared for that, because that is just going to be an ongoing thing. And hopefully you won't be scared about the integrity of the games anymore, because big bad Brendan Sorsby's gone. And again, the games are all going to be on the level. Nobody's ever going to take any money to do anything or gamble on themselves, because Brendan Sorsby's gone now.
Well, the funny thing is that last year, around this time in the summer, remember the John Mateer story that came out and the nickname Moneyline Mateer?
Yeah,
I mean, we had that last
That's
summer,
right,
and it kind of just got swept
forever.
under the rug, and it was all fine, and everybody was.
You guys, it's
moving
going
on.
to be an increasing part of our lives, as sports fans and as college football fans. It's going to be something. Kayshawn Boutte had something like this happen, where he used his actual name.
Oh no.
That was tough.
There you go, Tate. That was tough. Wait, let me ask y'all a question then. So, how do you think Texas Tech and the Big 12 can get along together again after this?
That I don't think if I were the Pac-12, I would have called Texas Tech and their administrators like immediately.
Yeah,
I'd have been like, "Hey, you guys are welcome here. You'll be the premier program. We'll take care of you. We'll never do any of this stuff." I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they start looking elsewhere.
I mean, that's a really how will they ever trust each other again? How will they work? Again, there's a lot of money involved, and I understand that it's often bigger than that. But also, and the thing we love about college football is that old grudges die hard in college football. And sometimes the money don't matter. Sometimes it's about pride or, whatever else. And I could see Texas Tech and, the Big 12 being like, man, fuck y'all, dog. I mean, the Big 12 is a league made up of teams that don't even want to be there anyway. Like, that's not
right.
None of those teams wanted. Maybe UCF is excited, and Cincinnati excited that they got.
UCF was
maybe
ecstatic to get into the Big 12.
Yeah, that was a life raft for them. But all these other ones, Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be in the league together. They just happen to be in the league together. And so I feel like that's one of those things where the bonds that hold them together could really be tested, because they were about to, potentially ban them from playing and postseason competition and stuff like that. Like that's tough.
That is tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Well, so what's next for Brendan Sorsby? The supplemental draft?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
And I saw Steve Minch on the McShay show say that he thought that it would be worth taking a first-round pick for Brendan Sorsby if you're a team like the Minnesota Vikings. So, I mean, this is fascinating, kind of the revisionist history, because if he was a first-round pick, I feel like he would have been in the NFL draft this past season. And I thought the whole idea was for him to go to Texas Tech to then play his way into being a first-round pick. But it is fascinating that that's a conversation now.
I mean, it's funny because I feel like I used to have this thing I say, if like you're 6'4" and blonde with a strong arm, like you're born in the first round and you got to play your way out. You know what I mean? And so like maybe that's the thing with Brendan Sorsby. Like they get a good look at him, these workouts and everything else. And you could imagine a scenario that if he had come out in this draft, the team would be like, well, man, he's actually pretty good, pretty athletic. He was productive. He didn't have a lot of talent surrounding him. And shit, and Van saw it. The dude, Quincy Avery, who works with, so many college and professional quarterbacks, said,
quarterbacking expert.
Quarterbacking expert. He thinks that he's going to be coveted by some of these teams. In fact, he said Quincy, he said a slower Kyler. That's basically what he's saying. He's like, he's kind of like a bigger,
which kind of goes to the
Kyler.
Minnesota thing. You got Kyler on a minimum deal there. You got Obviously, a situation where, it doesn't look like their franchise decision is going to work out with J.J. McCarthy. So that could be a team that takes a swing. I would be shocked if it's a first-round pick, but, I mean, Terrell Pryor was a third-round pick in the supplemental draft. I feel like that, to me, would be more of the place that he's in, but
the Raiders
we'll
took him. You know what I'm saying? And that was,
Yeah.
the Raiders, I mean, all they did for a number of years was make bad, decisions with their draft picks. So,
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Sorsby, but the supplemental draft, we talked about it, 3 weeks ago about him going to the supplemental draft, and everything sort of changed with the injunction. And then obviously we're back at square one at this point. But to break down how we all got here, we have his lawyer, one of the biggest lawyers in all of sports. He is basically the reason that NFL free agency exists, to kind of give like a big capper of how important he's been in the sports space. But we're going to have Jeffrey Kessler, one big guest, joining us right after this, and he is going to break down how this Sorsby thing played out and sort of his vantage point on what happened with Brendan Sorsby. That's coming up right now. All right, as promised at the top of the show, joining us now, one big guest. He's going to help us break down the Sorsby saga of sorts. He's closely connected to this, and of course, one of the premier sports lawyers in the country. We have Jeffrey Kessler joining us. Jeffrey, thanks so much for taking the time to come in on Tailgate, and great to see you, man.
Good to see you.
We got a lot of questions, and Joel has written out a bunch of questions. So, Joel, I'll throw the alley-oop up to you. What's the first thing you have on your mind here for Jeffrey?
Well, Jeffrey, thanks for joining us. And first and foremost, Brendan is a young man who obviously has a gambling addiction. And so how has he dealt with all of the noise around this case? How's he feeling now that his college football career is officially over?
So this has not been an easy experience for him. As you probably know, he has suffered from a mental gambling addiction, and he put himself into a residential treatment facility for about a month. And he is focused on his recovery, on being the best person he could be, and in finding the right path to pursue his passion for being a quarterback.
Jeffrey, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I am one of the members of the college football media, one of the people in college football who absolutely believes that Sorsby should never play college football again. That gambling, particularly on your own team, is a red line, and that means you don't get to play any more football. What about this case am I and other members of the media and other people around the country missing?
Everything. So people think that we got a court order that invalidated the NFL's drug policy. We did the opposite. What the court found is that we showed that the NCAA, I may have said NFL, that the NCAA policy on gambling required it to consider two factors in this case. Its own policy required it. Those factors were, number one, that the player never engaged in any corrupt conduct. It was undisputed. He didn't bet on his team in any game in which he actually was on the active roster for the game. He had no inside information he shared. He didn't work with gamblers. He didn't make any money from this. There was no corrupt activity. And number two, that he had a mental disease that is prevalent among young athletes today, and frankly, non-athletes, especially males, in the schools, for which the NCAA policy promised they would give priority consideration. So what the court found is not that the policy was wrong. They found the NCAA breached their own policy by not considering these factors. And that's what's been totally misportrayed here. There are very few athletes, if any, who would have these two unique facts that required he be treated with support rather than punishment.
So just one follow up. You guys were able to successfully argue that support includes playing football?
Correct. The policy said so. So you know what the policy says. No one's read the policy. The policy does not say if you ever bet on your own team, you are forever barred from the NCAA. That is not what the policy says. What the policy says is that you were initially declared ineligible by your school, and then you could apply for reinstatement. And in that reinstatement, we, the NCAA, will look at the facts, the totality of the circumstances, and will adjust the punishment, if any, to take into account whether you were the victim of a mental disease or defect that caused you to do this, and whether it involved any corrupt activity or threat to competitive integrity. That's what the NCAA promised contractually that they did not do for this poor kid. And what this kid wanted to do, was to devote himself to educating others, okay, who have these problems with gambling addiction, because the NCAA is paying right now zero attention to them while they go out and make their multi-million-dollar deals with, to exploit the gambling process, okay, to generate revenues, to name some of their stadiums after casinos. They are doing zero to help the athletes who get entrapped this way, and that is wrong.
Is Sorsby planning to do that? Because that's a very noble endeavor to, educate young men on gambling and stuff like that. You're saying that he wanted to do that.
Yes.
Are you saying that he's not going to do that now that he's not?
Oh no, he'll still do it.
Okay,
but he's dedicated.
It's not contingent on him playing football.
But what I'm saying, what was presented to the NCAA was what you should do here is, yes, he shouldn't escape any punishment at all. So a 2-game suspension would be appropriate. But beyond that, you should be supporting him in trying to get this message out, and his treatment advisor, his addiction, a treatment advisor who worked on this, put in a report uncontested that what he really needed was the structure of football, frankly, and being on a team would help him in his recovery. In any event, what happened, as everybody now knows, is we won the case, but then the Big 12 filed this lawsuit saying that, we're going to seek an ability to punish the school and boycott their teams and not go through with this. And it was going to entail, months more of litigation. And what happened is that Texas Tech concluded that it just couldn't continue with this uncertainty as much as they supported the player. So they concluded that they were not going to go forward with him on their team, which is obviously something they could decide. And so then the player decided, okay, in light of that, he will now go to the NFL supplemental draft because he wants to continue being a football player at the highest level. He'll continue to devote himself to spreading the word about this gambling addiction issues and devoting himself to his treatment. Says, and we're going to be withdrawing the lawsuit and all the appeals and everything else like that out.
Jeffrey, you spoke about what the NCAA and its obligation to its athletes were, but did you, for people like Van, people who are outraged at the idea that a guy like your client would have been allowed to play football this season, did you understand the national response, which led to, the Big 12 saying, we might sanction you, the University of Michigan saying, we're not going to play you. Yeah. And a lot of people argue, this might set a dangerous precedent where the NCAA can't punish its players. What did you make of that noise around
that? This was the result of an NCAA campaign to misportray what this decision was and stir up all this controversy, in part because they're looking for legislation in Congress, in part because they wanted to portray this as something it was not. And so very specifically, you talk to the average AD, or you talk to the average fan, or frankly, you talk to the average media member, and they will think that this decision sets a precedent that you can't suspend players who bet on their own team. It sets no such precedent. They would think that this decision says is a blessing that everybody can now bet on their own team in a corrupt way. It says no such thing. Okay, you would think that people would think that frankly they think that the player here bet on his own team with inside information or when he could affect the outcome in some way in the game. He did no such thing. So this was all, frankly, overblown reaction to a fantasy that the NCAA created for its own purposes, and the ADs reacted accordingly.
When you say he didn't have any inside information, what constitutes inside information?
In other words, what could be corrupt would be if, like, he was on the team, like, dressed to play and, like, knew, like, like whether somebody was hurt or something like that, and was, like, betting based on that information or sharing that in some ways. Understand, this was completely investigated by the NCAA's enforcement staff, and they entered into what's called a stipulation of facts. And the stipulation of facts, uncontested, was the player did nothing to be corrupt, nothing to influence the outcome of a game, nothing to take advantage of inside information. What he was doing is that he wasn't activated for the roster at the beginning of the season. He was, basically sitting in his dorm room, frankly, addicted to this gambling app. Okay, and he put in some very small bets on his team to win the game because he thought it was like supportive to do that. That's it. And we're talking like $5 bets, $10 bets, like that should win. And the second he was activated and actually came in and had a possibility of playing, he never had a single bet on his team. And that's
the reason
and undisputed.
Well, one follow-up. I understand that there was an investigation. The only reason why I ask is because, of course, he has inside information, right? He's on the team. Like if I was going to bet on something that was happening at the Ringer, if I was going to bet,
like if I was going to bet, he wasn't.
But I work here. Of course, he knows things that nobody else knows.
What they looked into, okay, is like, oh, did he bet that like this player was not going to play this game, or this player was going to have a good performance because he knew that this player did something, or was going to have a bet? There was zero evidence of anything like that. And it's not just me saying it. It was stipulated. They went through this whole investigation to check this, and they agreed with all of this.
Before I throw it back, do you understand people's Joel used the word outrage, so let's just go with the word outrage. Do you understand people's outrage over what they consider to be a red line in sports, which is betting on teams when you're on the team, where that could go? We talk about the fact that there needs to be something that is done to stem the tide against gambling and gambling culture taking over the NCAA. Couldn't you make an argument that sufficiently punishing Brendan Sorsby is part of stemming the tide from gambling culture completely infecting the NCAA? Couldn't you make that argument?
You want to stem gambling culture? How about if the NCAA passes a rule barring all their teams from having any association with gambling entities or apps,
with that too,
or naming rights or stadiums or anything else? How about if the NCAA gets rid of its contracts with any gambling-related organizations? How about if the whole culture of gambling is changed. That would make a difference. The other thing is, if you believe the NCAA should have a policy that says we will never consider reinstatement if someone bets on their team, and we have this bright line policy for deterrence, like the way that the NFL has a steroid policy that says we don't care how it gets in your body. If you get it, like you're responsible, then maybe they should write that policy and pass it with the membership. That is not what their policy says. That's the problem. That's not the promise that they made to their athletes. That's not the consideration of what it says. As I said, people are outraged over their own fantasy in their own mind, or what they think the policy was, what they think the facts were, what they think happened here, and none of them read the decision. None of them read the stipulated facts. None of them has even looked at what actually happened here, right? That's the problem. That's the problem I have with most of the media, because most of the media has reacted off of the NCAA's press release instead of actually doing their job and seeing what has actually happened here in terms of the facts.
You know, Jeffrey, so after Judge Curry's temporary injunction, the trial date was set for after the season. You understood that there were going to be challenges, right? That like maybe the Big 12 or the NCAA.
We expected them to appeal.
Right.
That's what you do. When you lose a court case, you appeal. The NCAA filed an appeal. You know what you don't do when you lose a court case? Because that's going on far too much in this country right now. You don't say, oh, I don't have to follow the court case. I'm going to find some way around it. Okay, that's called the rule of law. So what you had here is the Big 12 got together and said, you know what? We don't like this court decision. We're not going to follow it. We're going to try to find a way to, to carry out our own punishment, even though the court issued this ruling. That is a great lesson for their students in all of those Big 12 institutions. You just go out there and you don't like a court decision, you figure out some way to evade it, okay? Think about that as a message that came out of this. Now, what happened is we then sent them letters. I sent them one for the athlete saying you were bound by this court order, which they were. And Texas Tech sent one, and with the Attorney General of Texas saying, if you go avoid this court order, you're going to violate the antitrust laws. So then, instead of just violating the order, they went to court to file their own lawsuit saying, we want permission, in effect, to violate the court order in terms of all this. So they created this whole firestorm, which in the end made it impossible for the player to play this season at Texas Tech. So I guess they got what they wanted.
Well, do you take issue then? Because a lot of people will respond and say, and they have said this over and over again in cases from Diego Pavia to Tristan Smith at University of Tennessee, whatever. Yeah. Well, what the players are doing with their attorneys is they're finding favorable courts and trying to, get around NCAA rules that they've agreed to. What do you make of that criticism then?
So again, each case is different, so I can't talk about every other case. In this case, we argue they didn't follow their rules. Mm-hmm. Not that we wanted different rules. And the judge we got, by the way, was a judge from Dallas who was 200 miles from Lubbock and Texas Tech. He was not a Texas Tech graduate. The judge we first had recused himself and didn't say why, maybe because he had a Texas Tech connection. But the court then went out and found a judge who did not have any bias, and no one objected to him, and found this. So this wasn't a question of going out and finding some Texas Tech booster, right? To rule for you. That's not what happened here.
Just kind of spinning it forward for a second. Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk reported yesterday that you're working to ensure the NFL doesn't attempt to prevent him from entering the supplemental draft because he's not necessarily been deemed eligible for that. So
he's eligible. Let me be very clear about that. Okay. I've been in contact with the NFL. They have raised no objection to his eligibility period. That's another goddamn media fantasy.
Okay.
It has not been raised. They sent us the application, and the application has been submitted. And we've had no indication that they have any objection. You know why? Because he's never violated an NFL rule in his history. Right? The NFL has rules. You violate them, you have issues. There is no issue about him violating an NFL rule, period. So thank you. Give me an opportunity to say, media, do your job. Stop making up this crap. Including Mike Florio, who I know.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So look, the passion is almost contagious. It's easy to see why you're the passion plus the attention to detail why you're so successful at what it is that you do. I will say this though, to what you said earlier, you're saying that there was no bright line. Well, I have two questions. I think the response that you're seeing is people demanding that there be a bright line and looking for this case as an opportunity to force the NCAA or whatever bodies are out there to set one, because I do not think that the average sports fan wants to see players gambling on their own teams, just to be honest with you. But I have a more specific question. The more specific question is, do you feel like as part of the judge's ruling in this case, in the Sorsby case, that the NCAA's relationship with gambling was a factor, was part of, in your mind, was part of the fact that the NCAA and sports culture in general has been so amenable to gambling and so welcoming to gambling as a revenue stream? Do you think that that factored into this case and allowed you guys to get a favorable ruling from the judge?
I can't comment on that. The judge's decision does not mention that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to read anything into the decision that it doesn't say. Could it have been a factor? It could have been. Says, but I only can go with what the judge wrote, and the judge did not write anything about that.
Right. Because a lot of people point to the hypocrisy of the NCAA or sports culture in general in welcoming gambling, and as if to say that because gambling has been welcomed as a revenue stream, that in some way the players should be allowed to gamble on the sports that they play.
Well, let me take it to another thing. So the NCAA this year, itself, its staff, looked at their policy and said, it's not fair to punish the athletes when they bet on other sports that are not college sports, for example, right? We should help them. We should support them, right? And they tried actually to pass that change, right? And for whatever reason, the powers that be came in and blocked that change too. So what is that furthering, right? There's no possibility of the integrity of college sports being affected if somebody is voting on Australian rules football and you've got this gambling addiction problem among your athletes. Why the hell would you want to punish them for doing that? The whole way the NCAA approaches this, like frankly, the way it approaches most things that it does, is just like half-assed and backwards.
What's the line there in terms of for me, I can look at a lot of things. I look at the American criminal justice system, period, right? And see a lot of places where people have actually committed crimes and see those crimes of being crimes of poverty, being crimes of access. And I would say, hey, don't need 55 years for that, 20 years for that. What you need is a diversion program. What you need is mental health resources.
Right.
What you need is that. And a lot of times those arguments fall on deaf ears. I throw them in jail. I
get you, by the way. And look, I agree with you. Criminal justice policy in this country has been wrong-headed in a lot of different ways. There have been some improvements in some states. It varies state by state, and there have been times of progress and times of setback. But there are a lot of things that are wrong-headed about how people are treated and what we support and don't support and what we punish and don't punish. And it's the same in the NCAA's gambling policy, frankly. People get motivated by different things that don't always make sense when you look at the particular people who are actually being punished.
Tate, do you have one? Because I want to follow up on the NCAA thing. Just
keep following up on the NCAA.
Okay, cool.
Tate, get in there and get in there and get in there, man.
Yeah.
Come on, we got Jeff. We got him going.
Yeah.
Right now, Tate, get in there.
No, Tate dished it off, man. I'm gonna go ahead and take that oop. So, Jeffrey, you were the co-lead plaintiff attorney in the House settlement. Which for people that don't know the specifics, it permitted schools to pay athletes for their name, image, and likeness. And obviously, they've since responded by trying to go to Congress, right? They said we need to protect College Sports Act, all that other stuff. People like Nick Saban have said that college sports is in crisis and all this other stuff. What do you make of that stuff?
Okay, so here's what I make about this. Nick Saban made like $14 million a year, okay, when he was the coach. And what he was complaining about, NIL, is that other teams who never won before, like Indiana, can now actually compete and kick Alabama's ass. And he does not like that system. He liked the old system when the moneyed schools had all the advantages. The athletes got nothing and the coaches did fine. You know what the two strength and conditioning coaches made at Alabama under this system? $1 million a year. You know what the president of Alabama made at that university? $950,000. The strength and conditioning coaches made more than the goddamn president of the university. And the reason for that is because they couldn't share any of it with the athletes. And then Saban comes in on his high horse and says, gee, I like the old system. Yeah, it works real well for him.
Jeff,
I love it.
Seems like, okay, so in meeting you and talking to you, it seems like you're disgusted with the NCAA on a lot of different levels. You think that the organization either is inconsistent in the way it's meting out punishments, inconsistent in the way it writes the rules, or just from top to bottom, kind of useless. Am I wrong?
I think the NCAA has huge organizational and governance challenges, which is had for a very, very long time. They don't have common economic interests. If you just look at it, they purport to regulate Division I, Division II, and Division III. Well, Division III athletics has nothing to do with Alabama football. There's no common interest there in terms of that. And even the P2 don't have common economic interests with the next two, let alone the other conferences, right? They can't even agree. Even the P2 don't agree with each other. They can't agree on the college football playoff system, right? And it's very unclear who actually controls things politically or how decisions are made. Okay, this, by the way, is not a criticism of Charlie Baker, who I think has been doing the best he can since he came in, but his hands are really tied by this political system and what he's facing. And so, yeah, I think a lot of the NCAA's harm and complaints is completely self-inflicted. I don't think it does nearly enough of what its original mission was, which was his original mission. It was formed at the request of Teddy Roosevelt to work on the safety of sports. They do almost nothing today regarding the safety of sports. They should be working on safety and academic standards and supporting athletes who actually want to go to classes and graduate when they're not given any time to do so, and a whole bunch of other things they could do instead of focusing on how could we regulate the economics of this sport to benefit different parties in terms of this, which is most of what they've done for the last 50 years.
So, Jeffrey, what does the future look like for the NCAA with all this? I mean, how many cases have they had to fight in court and continue to lose? And like you said, this time they, with the conference of the Big 12, almost set like a separate dangerous precedent. So, like, what does the future look like in the next 10 years?
So it's hard to predict, but, there are different paths here. One path is, how you don't lose court cases? You comply with the law. Most businesses find a way to do that. Instead of trying to stretch to see what you can get away with, maybe you should think about complying with the law in terms of that. That could be a great way of getting rid of a lot of this uncertainty. The second thing is, they may get some legislation through someday, and they may not. It's very uncertain. That might, create new problems, different problems. We'll have to see how that goes, as to whether or not the legislation is going to change things. They may eventually decide that they actually should be doing collective bargaining and recognizing athletes, at least in the revenue sports, in, football and basketball, as being, entitled to collective bargaining, which they could do if they wanted to. And then enter into agreements that brought them some certainty that way. Most of the major sports in this country, the professional sports, have all concluded that they actually like the idea of having unions, even though they have to deal with them, and there could be strikes or lockouts or grievances. They'd rather do that and have the certainty than just try to impose their own will and get sued every week. So maybe the NCAA and the conferences can learn a little bit, from that, lesson as well. So that might happen in the future.
For Brendan Sorsby himself, how will the NFL view? How does the NFL view this addiction? What are the NFL rules if he has a relapse?
So look, he will have to comply with, and he will comply with the NFL's policy on gambling, right? Which the NFL prohibits you obviously from betting on NFL games and other things, and that's a rule I'll have to comply with, like every other rule. I have every confidence that where he is now, he's not gambling at all, that he'll be able to deal with that entirely. He is not broken any NFL policy or rule, but he'll be subject to the same rules and policy as every other athlete who comes in.
Will there be support for him in managing his addiction?
He will be continuing his treatment and support. I am sure that any team that drafts him will be very supportive of him and continuing to put him in the right environment and making sure that he has all the support that he needs. Certainly that's what I would do if I was a team, who wanted him, to be with me in terms of that. It's what Texas Tech was going to do, and I'm sure it's what every NFL team would do, right? There are plenty of NFL players who come in with exactly the same addiction issues, coming out of school in terms of that.
Yeah, of course.
And teams, have to do a job and, worry about the mental health of their athletes and support them and do that. He's going to be no different than anybody else that way.
Final question. Does he still get his $6 million from Texas Tech?
Texas Tech announced they're not seeking the return of any money that they've already paid him. I do not know what that amount
How
is.
much that's money? How much money that's been?
Whatever amount they've already gave him, they are not seeking back. And that's what they announced. That's as much as I know.
Okay. All right.
Well, there you have it. Jeffrey, this has been an enlightening conversation. We appreciate you taking the time. Obviously, we know you're very busy, so this was a very important conversation to have. We love to hear like the inside baseball, what's going on here, and we appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much, and we definitely would love to have you come back and maybe make light and break down some of these situations in the future. Thanks so much for taking the time.
All right, take care. Nice to be here. Bye-bye.
All right, there you have it, Jeffrey Kessler. He was shot out of a cannon right there. Not afraid to give his thoughts.
Van agitated him, man. I mean, but
yeah.
I think, Van, you were doing that intentionally, right? Like, were you trying to?
Yeah, like I think on these interviews that we've been doing, I want to make sure that we don't become like another dick riding show. So I think on these interviews, because a lot of people get on the interviews and they're like, "Hey, man, I know it's been so tough.
Big
Tell
fan.
us about you're a big fan." Like, I just want to make sure that people know that they can come on here.
You don't want to
like
find
a real interview. But I tell you what, though, he was ready to mix it up.
Yeah.
He's like that. He was ready to mix it up, bro. He was ready to fucking go.
He was
That
sticking
guy
and
is fucking
moving.
awesome.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very. I mean, you can understand why he's been as successful as he is, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to have an attorney to help you in a matter against the NCAA, that is the man that you'd want to have on your side. And you know, again, just keeping in mind, again, some of this is it just happens that we're interviewing people that you know we all mostly agree with, but I would say it just keeps up my streak from the guest of the week of that week proving what I said right, you know what I'm saying, or at least siding with me. And so I would just, you know, Jay Billis, Bill Bellamy.
Bill Bellamy. What did Bill Bellamy say
Jermaine Dupri and
about Jermaine Dupri? Remember?
He was like, "Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that, man, at the time because you know he's a little dude."
This is what
you know
I think. So I think.
Yeah.
I think this is what I say about that.
Uh-huh.
This is what I say about that. I mean, I can see why Janet Jackson would like Jermaine Dupri. I can see that. I can see also why Bill Bellamy wouldn't think that Janet Jackson would like Jermaine Dupri because Bill Bellamy was kind of in the run-in for Janet Jackson. You know?
Yeah, he
didn't
think he had a
there.
chance, and he saw Dupri, and he was like, "Could have been me."
But
Yeah.
but
that was
Jermaine
the
Dupri,
original point I had made. That was the original point I
But
made.
it's not a good point. I don't give a
It
fuck
was
what
a
Bill
great
Bellamy
point.
say. That,
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't.
Risha, why didn't you
name
tell
you-
him that? Why didn't you tell him that when he was on there? Did you? Oh,
I did say it.
shit, man.
I did say it.
Out.
I did. Oh, go back and watch it.
Okay.
Go back and watch it.
Okay,
Go back and watch it. I did say it. But at the same time, I'll say this though. You dick ride the guests, and so that's another reason why you can get them to agree. You dick ride them. You
No,
go in there
I'm
and go,
asking good.
I mean, Jay
let me
Billis's last line was "Keep kissing ass."
Okay.
Joel.
Hey,
The
Let
last
me-
thing he said.
By the way, can I tell you something?
huh?
I don't know why you even accepted that. You should have been like, hey, that's tough. That's what you should have
That's
said.
tough.
Nah,
I
I
don't
mean,
even know
I
why
knew
you
he was
even-
joking. And look, Bomani's argumentative ass is like, man, Jay Billis wore my ass out one time in an argument, and he's like, I didn't even come back to him. I don't. Well, first of all, I think Jay Billis is as good as what I said. I wasn't like trying to kiss his ass. I was saying I was
You
showing
just kissed his
respect.
ass again right there.
I was
Yeah.
showing respect.
You just
Yeah,
kissed his ass.
he's
You on his
good.
dick
That's fine.
still.
Complimenting people is riding dick. Or it's like Van is like, shit, Jermaine Dupri, what the fuck you talking about, man? We on the same level. We can holler at the same chick.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay,
He's one of the
so
best.
here's the deal.
motherfuckers
Here's the
out
deal.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the deal. Defending someone is never riding dick.
That-
Defending
you don't
somebody
make, you
from an
don't
attack.
make the rules. You
Nope.
don't make the rules.
I actually might. I don't know if you've checked Twitter lately. I think a
Oh.
lot of people. I actually might. Defending
Oh.
someone
No.
is just saying because really that's defending him from hating. You were hating on that man.
I wasn't. I was.
Hey, Joe,
stating
let me
an
ask you a
objective
question.
fact.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Joe, let me ask you a question. This might be dick riding what I'm about to do now. Fuck it, though. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think has gotten more women over the course of their life, you or Jermaine Dupri?
Shit. I don't know.
What?
I mean, Dr. Jermaine Dupri.
Who do you think? Who do you think has gotten? Who do you think has gotten better looking women?
Let
Who do
me
you
just
think?
say
Who do you think
something.
has? Let me ask you a question. No, let me ask you. Who do you think has gotten better looking women over the course of their life? You or Jermaine Dupri?
Joel got Beyonce once upon a time.
I mean, I think my wife is a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say
we
that.
do too.
She's
You know what I'm
gorgeous.
saying? Look it
But
up. Dear
like, who you think over the course of their life has gotten better
Okay,
looking
just
women?
hold on. Before. So let me just say this. Okay. I wasn't saying that it was me. I knew that Jermaine Dupri would have a better shot at Janet Jackson than I would. I understand he is very famous. Now, Jermaine Dupri and I were at the same high school or same college or the same party when we were 27 years old, and he was a motherfucker that cut hair for a living, or he worked at Enterprise Car Rental.
If you guys were at
whatever.
drumsticks together.
Yeah, we were drumsticks together. Ain't no way. I would have had whatever he wanted, I could have had. You know what I'm saying? If
But
that was
can I
the
tell you
case.
something though?
What?
Can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
That's like saying
Okay.
if
Dick Ride. This is Dick
if-
Ride, by the way.
nigga, I
We're gonna
already-
get
I already
Jermaine
committed
Dupri
to
on
it.
the show.
Yeah, let's say the two of you are
We're gonna get Jermaine
together.
Dupri. That's almost what you just did is just like
Dick
saying
Ride.
that's almost if Chris Johnson didn't run a 4.2 then I'm as good of a running back as him. The reality is that Jermaine Dupri had a talent and a way about him that made him get way more and way better looking women than you. Talking about this man. Talking about this man, and you getting on him and dissing him. The question is, I don't know if you even qualified to have some of the Jermaine Dupri conversations that you had.
Give me all the other women that Jermaine Dupri has dated publicly, because you giving
Mariah
him credit.
Carey.
He dated Mariah Carey?
I don't think he dated Mariah Carey.
I thought he did.
Nah,
Check
see,
that.
you just saying shit now. Let's see. Jermaine
he has two
Dupri,
daughters with Pam Sweat. Hold on, let's see who this woman is.
Jermaine Dupri, bro. Okay, let me Joel. Let me
two
tell you
kids
something.
with this woman.
Left eye.
Don't look up.
Pam Sweat. I mean, okay, forget it. You know, I'm just saying. All right.
Yeah, because you about to go too far, Joe.
I'm happy with my wife. I'm happy with my wife.
Oh, Maya. Maya's a great one.
Who do you think?
Maya's a great one.
You know what?
Max,
I
she
was
bad
in the
as
same
shit.
place with Maya, and I felt like anyway. But okay.
Joe, you know that's it. We out of here, bro.
Okay.
By the way, hold on.
I wasn't.
This. Maya might have been giving you act right. I can't say that that's not the truth.
I didn't say that she gave me act right, but I'm saying she gave me rhythm. Like it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like I'm funny, whatever. I was handsome. I probably had my my sweater vest with my linen shorts and my sandals probably popping at night. I had a chain, a big chunky chain. That I had.
I'm not gonna say that you couldn't. I'm not gonna say that Pam Sweat beautiful, nigga.
Yeah, I mean she's beautiful, but I'm just like, again,
I'm
not seeing Jermaine doing anything that I'm not doing.
What?
You know what
I'm saying? I don't know, bro.
What does that mean?
I feel like
I'm looking at Pam.
I've been with attractive
I'm looking at
women
Pam
too.
Sweat.
What do you want him to do?
Right now.
Press box with Brian Curtis?
Now I tell you right now. Now, okay. Let me ask you a question. Would you be comfortable with us doing a side by side with your wife
not.
and Pam Sweat? Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let's see. Hold on.
Okay,
No,
would you be
like
comfortable with us doing a side by side with
hold
your
on,
wife and Pam Sweat and letting people judge who they think is better?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see. Well, first of all, ain't nobody beating my wife, but I'm not going to allow that to happen.
I'm asking you a question if you want to get busy.
No, I mean that's because I don't want to put my
I think that's
family
tough.
out there, because people also
It's tough. That's tough.
No, because I don't want people will either hate on me or whatever, or they might start saying things about my wife that would also make me uncomfortable. And so
you're already trying not to fight with people.
Well, then here's the deal. Then. If you're not
how do
ready
you find Pam Sweat? I can't even Google this.
I just found her. Hold on, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
What
if you're not ready to throw the gauntlet down, then stop bringing the shit up. That's Pam Sweat right there.
Okay, hold on. What chat? On text?
Oh, I just put it on. I just put it on text. That's Pam Sweat.
Again, an attractive woman, but I'm happy with my choice. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not saying you're not. So let's throw the gauntlet. Let's throw the gauntlet down.
No, we're not doing that. We're not, because that's that. Nah, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. You sound. That's how you sound like Mark Zuckerberg. You know what I'm saying? In 2002. Isn't that how Facebook got started?
Yeah, I think it was.
But it was a whole system to rate chicks. That
seems like a stretch.
It was like hot or not.
I'm not rating
anything.
It was like
a face mask.
What are you even doing here? Who called you? What was the point? Why were you here?
He was coming in to be an arbiter.
I was going to talk to you about Jay Billis, but we've quickly kind of gotten off that topic. So
okay, go ahead and talk about it, Billy. What you got to say?
Well, no, at the time I was wondering who would win in a tussle, Joel or Jay Billis, and then I was wondering who'd do better at drumsticks, Joel or Jay Billis. But we moved on.
Jay Billis fucking over Joel.
I heard Jay's got game.
He's fucking over Joel at drumsticks. Is not even close. It's stupid. It's a stupid conversation.
I mean, actually, in high school, we high school on high school. I don't think first of all, I don't think Jay Billis and I would be shopping at the same store. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real about it.
You both wear sweater vests.
He's gonna be at another party. He's gonna be at one party. I'm gonna be at drumsticks, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're not even like that. But maybe now we get to do. It's our freshman year, and he wants somebody and I want somebody. I'm not conceding that to Jay Billis at all. Yeah. Sorry. So why are we here?
He's 6'8", by the way. Like a tussle wouldn't even be close.
You talking about tussling? No,
tussle wouldn't even be close.
That would be tough. Yeah. The 6'8". So now you're
saying, bro, you really getting it. Now you saying Now you saying this man could whoop you, bro?
I didn't
Now
say
you
he could
saying
whoop
this
me.
man
I
could
said he
whoop
could
you.
tussle. He could people out tussle me. See,
I'm-
they have weight
Nah, fuck
classes
that.
for a reason.
Yeah.
You think
so,
he's above your weight class? I got you.
No, I bet Joel weighs more than.
No, I don't.
Probably.
I don't.
I bet Joel.
I'm
I'm sorry. I
225.
bet Joel
I'm
weighs.
225 right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how's the workout going for
yeah. I'm all right, man. I'm trying to get what I really need to do is I'm starting to build
You look
up.
thinner.
I need to start. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. What I need to do is I need to start, you know what I'm saying, getting my
getting the burst going.
Yeah, you know, getting that shit going.
Billy, are you concerned as you hear the ahs?
What? Yeah, Billy.
A little bit, yeah. I haven't gotten to that point in my workouts yet either.
Yeah. I mean, so there's two things I would like to say about this. One, it's interesting to me because I'm more excited about doing one-on-ones with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know that the racing was supposed to be the big draw, but now I'm like, all right, I'm ready to line it back up, put on some cleats, you know, let whoever want to come out there get into it. But the other part of it is that we're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. The Ringer Field Day is not going to happen, folks. Don't believe the hype.
Joe, can I tell you something?
Yeah,
it's absolutely happening.
No, yeah, it's happening.
Matter of fact, I need to have. We need to schedule a meeting about some of the. We need to schedule a meeting about.
Well, yeah, that is never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's never happening.
Oh no! Listen to me. It's absolutely happening. It's absolutely happening. It's happening for real. As a matter of fact, I've got some people that saw some things that we did recently that now want to work a little bit more with us, because of what they saw. That now are offering to host the Ringer Field Day.
Oh, for real?
So yeah, it's happening.
Fat Burger presents.
You're not getting out of
Ringer
this.
Tailgate Field Day. Look,
you're not
I told you, I will race whoever down the street in front of the Sycamore studio. That's fine. We don't need to have a track for that. I don't care about that. But I want the route game. I want one-on-ones. I want us to line it up, do all that shit a few times.
So it turns out the route running is what got you.
There's a couple people in media that I want to invite out there. Since they got so many, you know, just whatever.
Name names.
Name names. Call them out.
Jay Billis.
Name names.
I mean, I by the time I get
you are letting me down so much, bro.
I wonder if I would lock down Jay Billis. He's tall, man. That's a really, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's just a jump ball situation.
Yes, jump ball situation. I'm gonna lose that.
So you're not willing to name the people.
Yeah.
Who you are who you want to, you're not willing to.
So on one hand, I have a friend, Bomani Jones, who texts me and emails. He's like, bro, why are you fighting with people? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? This looks crazy.
That's fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on this show, I have a group of 3 people who've never gone to dinner with me, who are always trying to get me into fights with people, like from Paul Feinbaum to Jay Billis. You wanted to bring on Tom Segura to be another thing that is never happening. Tom Segura's never
we wanted to
on
bring him on as a guest, and you decided to start insulting him for no reason.
Yeah, but then you all started trying to make it a thing. You all started trying to make it a thing.
Can't be honest with you. Can't be honest with you. This is the shit that gets on my nerves. Joel is now.
Oh, nerves?
Joel is now playing the victim when it's Joel who dissed Tom Segura.
I did not diss him. I didn't know who
from
he
you.
was. I didn't know who he was. That wasn't a diss. Somebody told me. Who was I talking to? They said that he lives in Austin. They were like, "Yo, I saw."
He does.
Him.
He lives in Austin.
Oh yeah, Dave Wilson. Shout him out. He works at ESPN. My boy. Yeah, he said his wife ran into Tom Segura because I called it. Actually, the funny thing in the text I called.
Well, it led us to Bill Bellamy, so that's the silver line.
Yeah,
that's the important thing. That's the important thing. But yeah, y'all just always trying to throw me out there. And so anyway, the whole point is for a field day. Whoever can get it, you know what I'm saying?
But you said there were some specific people that you want to race. How can we get them there to race you? If
that's a good point. The most important thing is for me to beat Billy. All the other shit don't matter. But the one-on-ones is what I'm talking about, dog. Like I'm really excited about. But again, not going to happen. You said Van has said the exact same thing. I bet if we stitch together, if Frias stitched together a highlight tape, and when I say field day's not happening, and Van is like, actually, it is going to happen, and I've got some people willing to put some money on it to make it.
I put it on my dad. It's happening. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, is happening. What's going to happen is you're going to cuck out. That's
no,
what's gonna happen.
look, bro. Look, I promise.
That was
I
it.
will
It just
show
happened.
up.
What's happening is you're gonna cook out.
No. I'm a
I think you should get Joel's dad barbecue on that same day.
Wow.
And we stream live
What's
and
up,
he
man?
watches
Again, another thing that's never gonna happen. So
I'm gonna do that for him. You know what?
no.
With his little ass. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that for him.
What you doing?
I'm gonna
What
get,
you doing,
he said
man?
he was short. You said I'm gonna
Okay,
get it.
well, I mean,
I'm gonna have that delivered. I'm gonna have that delivered on Juneteenth as a Juneteenth present to my OG. Your dad is an OG and he deserves it on Juneteenth.
A Vietnam
I'm gonna send some other
vet,
stuff over to the crib.
an all-state, football player. You know what I'm saying? Arkansas.
Where do you play college ball at?
Man, so he went to a school called Huron College in South Dakota. And he went up there for one semester
and
said,
they were like,
so he said,
get the fuck
out. He's like, yeah, I couldn't do it. He said he didn't have a coat. He didn't have a coat either. So when he was up there, he was cold. So my dad comes back home to Texas. And then that's not long after that, he got drafted, had to go to Vietnam, came back, whatever. But yeah, man, worked 3 jobs. He worked for Southern Pacific, now Union Pacific for, 30, 40 years, some shit like that. Yeah, man, it was man to work with his hands. I always said if my dad had the benefit of my life, if he had come to your generation, he would have been a writer. He was somebody that did things. He's a reader and a
My
thinker.
daddy played college. Just let everybody know. My daddy played in college.
Okay, what year did your dad play in college?
In
what college?
75 Southern.
Okay.
Southern.
It was a different time, man. My dad, he graduated in like 64. So just think about it. Very few schools had integrated by then. You know what I'm saying? Like across the South. And so there was a pipeline from his school, Langston in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And apparently a guy had gone up there the year before to play for the Huron College. And I looked this up. They were called the Savages, the Huron College Savages.
All right, let's get into headlines of the week. There's some headlines in college football. Let's get into it. Let's start here. Steve Sarkisian came out and said he is not ruling out the possibility of Arch Manning returning to Texas in 2027. Here's the quote. A lot of quotes from Sark this offseason. He said, quote, we haven't had the discussion, but I will tell you, I would not be surprised. I think Arch really loves college football. I really do. I think he loves the University of Texas. He does pretty good through NIL. He's got some pretty good endorsements going right now, which is a credit to him, end quote. Van, do you believe Sark, or is this even more of a reason to maybe not believe in Arch Manning?
I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not really sure what the purpose of saying this is. Like, it seems like you would want to leave everything on the field as it's regarding to Arch. But if you're saying this, doesn't it seem like you're saying that he's still a work in progress? Am I wrong to think that?
That's reading between the lines. Yeah.
My thought was that he's saying he doesn't need the money. Both of the quarterbacks that preceded him, and I guess Archie too, stayed all 4 years in college. So the Mannings are just sort of guys that really appreciate the college experience. And they also probably are aware of the fact that the only real correlation between college success and professional success as it relates to quarterbacks is like snaps. You know what I'm saying? Like how many reps you actually get in college, right? And it's not even that determinative, but like it wouldn't hurt him to stay in college for 2 more years, which would be 3 years of playing. And money's not a concern. Austin is I've talked a lot of shit about the University of Texas, but it's a fun place to be a student. It's probably especially if you're Archie or Arch Manning. So yeah, I'm surprised he would say it like Van said, because it's like there's no need to even get into that. But I think what he's saying makes sense. Like if you think about who the Mannings are.
Yeah, it does fit the Manning mold a little bit, but just weird to say that before the season. Remember last year, Archie, his grandpa, came out and said he would not be going to the NFL draft the following season. That was also an interesting comment, but it might just go back to the Manning mold and what they're trying to put out there for their son. Next up, Dabo Swinney weighed in on the chaos surrounding college football. He said, quote, "The only thing worse than having no rules is having rules you can't enforce or don't enforce. He basically went on to say, I don't think any of us thought we'd be in a world where there's no order. It's a much bigger conversation now. Even in the NFL, there are rules. You can't sign with the Browns and go practice for 2 weeks, and the Dolphins call you up and say, hey, man, what are they paying you? We'll pay you $1 million more. Come on down to the Dolphins. And then you go in there and say, hey, boys, I'm out. So referencing what happened with their linebacker who ended up going to Ole Miss.
Farrelly?
But
is that who it was?
Yeah, exactly. So Dabo Swinney, do you buy this? Is this jaded? Is this salty? Van, your thoughts on Dabo's comments?
Dabo's comments seem a little hollow, and nobody gives a fuck what Dabo has to say anymore. So,
wow.
But Dabo has kind of lost his I can speak for college football credentials. Dabo ain't on that level anymore. What Dabo should be speaking about is the climate of his defensive line.
Damn.
He should be speaking about the climate of his receivers and the climate of his offensive line. I expect Clemson to be better this year, but in order to kind of pull the whole I'm a spokesman for what's wrong in college football or what's right in college football, you have to have an organizational success and a consistency that Clemson just does not have right now. So as far as for what he's saying, yeah, it's the Wild Wild West in college football. The answer to the question is, what will be better if the West gets less wild? Does anything get better? And who does it get better for? So, yeah, there are rules. I mean, places have rules. Me and Joel are going to talk about the salary cap. Joel doesn't seem to understand the NBA salary cap. Me and Joel.
Should we talk about that right now?
But let's not get to it right now. But I want to hear what Joel has to say about Dabo. But like when I saw this, I was kind of like, I don't know why Dabo talking, man. It seems like Dabo should have other things to do regarding his football team rather than kind of give these state of college football conversations. I know he was asked though.
Actually, I mean, that is what Dabo is probably more known for now, like complaining about the state of college football and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, and I wouldn't say that he doesn't have standing to talk anymore. I mean, the dude still has 2 national championships. He was in the playoff a year ago, so he's not totally lost it, but it's Clemson. The reason that we would say that is because Clemson is not to the level that only he had taken it quite anymore. So, I feel like he still has the authority to talk about this, but again, Dabo is right. Like if you can't just leave the Dolphins and go to the Browns or whatever. And you know why? Because all those athletes have collectively bargained contracts.
Right.
Yeah, right. So if you sign a contract in the NFL, then you can hold on to your player, right? And so like that's Dabo, the answer has been in front of your face the whole time. Welcome, Welcome to the revolution.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is more advantageous to you, Joel, to you, Tate? What's a better situation? Just for college football. A college football landscape where things are more rigorous, but the players have collectively bargained that stuff? Or do you think the players actually stand to have more agency and make more money and be able to move freely more with things the way they are right now?
Oh, I absolutely believe they don't. Like, the thing is, it's going to change. Like, something is going to change and they're going to get some sort of structure to it. And I'd rather them be at the table or not. But unquestionably, this is a much better time for athletes. Like, they're going to
athletes for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to have to give up. They'll have to give up something when they bargain. Right.
What will they give up to you? What do you think?
Well, mobility. Right. They'll give up. And
I think they're going to be like in 2-year locked in deals, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll give up. So the transfer portal will be significantly impacted by this, in your opinion. Will they give up eligibility as well in order for, and then what will they get? Because if we're talking about what they're giving up in a collectively bargain, you're collectively bargaining for the college football players. Joe, what are you asking for?
Yeah, I mean, I want them to have guaranteed contracts. I want them to have, to be honest, I don't have a problem with the transfer portal. I think it's fine. Like, if we're going to pretend that this is college football, then any student on your campus can transfer without penalty for any reason whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Right?
Sure.
And so
when you transfer, do you give the money back?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that was something you'd have bargained. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you would have a buyout in your contract if you did it this way. There would be some sort of rules for it, and it would be more transparent. So if they really do care about the kids who are being taken advantage of by agents or getting bad advice, a union allows you to strengthen the standards around that stuff and to make, to set a bar somewhere to where you can make sure, oh, these agents have to go through this sort of certification process if they want to do that. Because it would probably, you're right, Van. It's better right now, and changing to a CBA probably would be, the athletes would be giving up something. But like, if I'm a college football administrator, like, doesn't that sound better than just whining about this shit and losing players every year? And
it seems better to have something on paper that everybody is okay with, so that the game can start to enter into an era of some sort of normalcy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the players just need to be at the table, though.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. Because then it at least feels some semblance of fair. I'm not going to say that both sides. I mean, honestly, if both sides feel like that they don't like the deal, that probably means it's the closest thing to fair.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you hope they get to at some point. But it's funny because like the message from Dabo, I get, but it's just the messenger has, he's saying it for different reasons than probably what most people with that message are saying it for. He's saying it because he's like he wants to go back to the old way. Yeah. Which is, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. It's understandable why he liked it the way that it was. It was very lucrative,
advantageous for him.
Yeah, Clemson was a better program when the rules were different, right? He didn't have to deal with the transfer portal, which is something that he really does not interested in doing right now. And you kind of got to do that to be a top level team. So yeah, it was much better for him in the old way. So I believe he's sincere in his beliefs that it was better. But I think what he's conflating is the idea that it was really good for me. I don't know about the athletes.
Yeah, which kind of says a lot about, the stance that he has there. But again, I think the message is correct. There needs to be some sort of semblance of rules, but it is a bit of a mess right now. We'll figure it out, though, as we move forward. Next up, SMU's Kevin Jennings, quarterback for SMU, said that he's aiming for more than just a CFP appearance heading into his final season. He said, quote, "I'm not just trying to get back to the playoff. We're trying to go all the way. That's our main goal. We're not trying to just go there. We're trying to compete, finish, and win at a high level. That's the number one goal, just to put SMU on the map even more." Joel, this is your rival. Your thoughts on SMU saying they want to get to the top?
That's cute, man. I'm excited for. I hope they can get on our level again, dog. I mean, look, the only way you can get there is to believe you can get there. And the two stories I tell is when I first started playing football at TCU, and I was like a late commit. Nobody. It was for TCU that I was going to have to go Division III schools or like some FCS.
Really?
Yeah.
So TCU was your only D1 offer.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of So like it was for me, it was TCU or I was going to go to Morehouse. Yeah, I know, or Morehouse. Like I wanted to go to.
Shut up, Tate.
I know he's dissing me. I mean, Tate, man.
I'm not.
I'm trying to think about what you said you were going. It felt like you were going to defend me today, and it just.
I was doing a callback. You know what I mean?
It never works out. But anyway, I was at TCU. So anyway, I'm meeting. Really the first time I'm meeting the guys is when I get on campus. And I remember one day we're sitting around in the lounge area of our dorm. There's a bunch of us, and I feel like there's some girls there too. I don't know why they. Anyway. But we were just sitting there talking about like what it would take, like for TCU to go to the national championship game. Like seriously, like they had just come off a 6-5 season, which was like hailed as one of the great recent seasons in TCU football history. And now that we're in the 16-team WAC, and they're sitting around like, yeah, man, we just win a few games, we could be in the national championship. And my dumb ass comes in being like, no, we couldn't. Like, we'd have to go like undefeated for like 3 years. And like, we're not going undefeated. And dude was like, well, you would say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to play. And I was like, damn, motherfucker had a point.
Damn, that nigga put you in a motherfucking
Yeah,
box.
He put me in the blender, man. But the thing is,
God damn,
I
bro.
was arguing like a journalist.
If I'd have heard that, I'd have been like, that's tough.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? But I deserved it in retrospect because I was like, I was talking like a journalist or a pundit and not a football player. And like that's probably why my career did not last very long, because I just didn't have that sort of belief. And I think to be great, especially in sports, you've got to have like this ingrained belief.
Irrational confidence.
Yeah, just irrational confidence that we can do something. And the thing about Kevin Jennings, man, like his own personal story is crazy. Like he was a starting quarterback for the first Dallas ISD football team to win a state championship in like 60 years. Like Dallas ISD had not fielded a state championship.
So then it's a part of his DNA to believe that he can break long-standing streaks. Yeah.
He's done it. Like he elevated that school. Now it's a state power again. So if you did that, I could understand why you'd be like, well, shit, SMU, we got the money. We're in a good city. We can get, it's easy to get, we got athletes all around us and we can get people to want to come here. I mean, also, you know, shout out to my dogs, you know what I'm saying? Kenneth, Emo, you know, my AJ, my cousin Jamil, Anthony, you know, Ramon Flanagan. I used to hang out on SMU's campus when I was at TCU. And hey, you know what I'm saying? They got some things to recruit to there. So, yeah.
Billy?
What?
Like, what do you feel like Joel is trying? I know it. I know it. They got white women.
Stop it. No. Actually,
they have white women.
I'm going to fuck you up.
Let's go look it up.
No.
Look it up.
It was given a he got game.
SMU had 3 of the 5 most attractive black women I saw in college. Like
because they were white women.
No, they were black. Okay, they were black women. I'm telling you. Don't. SMU. I remember their names too.
Black.
Don't say the names.
There's not very many of them, but the ones that I saw, and it's particularly on campus, were bad. Like, look, I'll just be like, at that part in my life, that wasn't something I kind of thought you were a sellout if you did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're like Dr. Umar.
I was like Dr. Umar.
So it's 7%. It's 7% black at SMU. For 7% black. So that's what Joe was going
to. I mean, look, it's an extremely high percentage. I understand. But I'm just saying that's how it went. And the other 2 were from the University of Texas, which again, not very many, but of theirs that are there, they got some hitters. You know what I'm saying? So
LSU,
they pack a punch.
19% black. Motherfucking Tiger, dog.
All right,
Tiger, bro.
I mean, I've seen something go on there too. Yeah, back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the
LSU track team when I was coming up.
Nuts.
Yeah. They were stars of the show when they showed.
TCU just for people that know, it's 4% black. It's 4%.
Is it, man? That's better than it was when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, there you go. Kevin Jennings sending out a statement to the people. Next up, James Franklin also sending out a statement. He said that basically he is selling. He doesn't have to sell the Virginia Tech vision. He said, quote, "We're not a first-time head coach trying to share a story that there's no evidence for. We've got a ton of evidence. We've done it in the SEC. We've done it in the Big Ten, and we're coming to do it in the ACC." Van, do you believe James Franklin?
Yes, I believe that.
Me too.
In my opinion, Virginia Tech is a proud football tradition with a legendary coach, with legendary players. The Virginia Tech that I've always known is a school that would always be a great program and flirted with at times being an elite program. We're talking about a program that played a national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael Vick.
Absolutely. And so as far as him, there's nothing to really restore as much as there is. Virginia Tech has to remember who and what it is.
Yeah, I think he's got to just remind people. Yeah.
Yeah. If he can do that, then he can go on a long run there, just like Beamer, and really have the program flirting with prominence in especially in this particular college football landscape we're in right now.
Yeah, and also that stadium, if you've never been to Lane Stadium, it's an incredible atmosphere. And you've never been intimidated by people doing the hokey pokey in your life until you go to Lane Stadium. So,
man.
They get down, and that is a very insane atmosphere. So I think it's all there for the taking.
Yeah, man. I mean, and look at the ACC. I mean, who do they look at and they say they should be better than us every year? Maybe Miami. They may look at Miami and say, well, that's, we got to recruit against them. They've got that advantage. They got the infrastructure and the NIL rolling and everything. But then, I mean, after that, we talk SMU, Duke, I mean, who was the ACC champion last year, by the way. North Carolina.
Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech doesn't look at any of those schools and think, oh, we could never beat them. Like they should be, or they could be that second, or one of the 2 or 3 top elite teams there. And I mean, I know James Franklin got fired, but he's a good football coach, man. Like he at Penn State was really good. He ran into a real bad stretch of luck there last year and lost his job at a place where people were just kind of getting impatient with him. But when you step back and look at his record, James Franklin is a damn good football coach, man. So yeah,
he is going to have them in it and winning the ACC.
Ooh.
In it and winning the ACC very soon.
Okay,
they're going to be right there.
Okay,
they're going to be right there in the ACC for sure. Now Miami's a son of a bitch because I think Miami's just going to get stronger. Over the next couple of seasons. We'll see what they do next year, but I think that Miami is probably here to stay with the way Cristobal builds teams down there. I think that Miami's going to be around, but James Franklin is going to have Virginia Tech going. It's not going to take as long as people think there will be.
Oh yeah.
I'm right there with you. I think it's a great hire. I think it's great that he's kind of sending that message out to the people. And Virginia Tech is a cool football team. So when they are good, I think it's good for the college, football business. So I'm excited to see what they do up in Blacksburg. There's not much else going on in Blacksburg.
I was going to say, what's Blacksburg like? That's a place I've not been.
Virginia Tech. That's what it is. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. So
God, damn.
I've been to 3 games in Blacksburg in my life.
What's the nicest hotel there? Where do you stay at?
I think I stay at like a Fairfield Inn or something. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like
fuck, I'm talking about
this picture right here does not give me a lot of confidence in how popping it is. This looks like Pullman, Washington, to be honest.
Yeah, it's nothing going on other than Virginia Tech. So
but
if it's going, it's rolling.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes those are the best college towns.
College towns, that's right.
Yeah, for sure.
They run the town.
Those are the best ones. If there's too much going on, Baton Rouge is a pretty good college town, but Baton Rouge might be slightly too big to be a great college town. But the best college towns are where the school takes up most of the oxygen.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
I think that's Blacksburg look like the type of place. Blacksburg.
What's up, Donnie? Well, you look like you think the white women there are kind of more your liking. You know what I'm saying?
They're a little bit like country up there. You know what I mean? They're a little bit redneck.
Blacksburg looked like the type of place where it was tough for us back in the day, bro.
Oh man! Well, hold on. Let's go look it up.
Any town where it looked like the sheriff will come out and talk to you and go, "We got nice people in this town, quiet people that keep to themselves."
Let's see. They've had some incidents.
It's beautiful though. Hold on, this is a beautiful place, dog. But bro, America is beautiful, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's what everyone's saying at the World Cup. Like all these fans, I mean, they're coming out there being like, "Man, we have never seen any of these pictures of America. It's actually beautiful." So it's a nice.
What is this? This looks like what is this? This looks like the outdoors. You have the new river in Blacksburg.
Yeah, it's like an outside.
This looks fucking gorgeous, dog.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, you look at the mountain. You know what? I actually know, especially living in DC now, the DMV. There's a lot of people around here that went to Tech and black folks, and they seem to like that place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they seem like when they
everyone's very nice.
Yeah,
that's a takeaway.
Okay,
and then like Virginia, Roanoke is close by.
Oh, Roanoke.
I mean, Roanoke's a nice town. Yeah.
Okay, I've never been there, but shout out Roanoke. Paul Barringer, who served as Tech's president from 1907 to 1913, wrote a 1900 speech called "The American Negro: His Past and Future," in which he argued that, quote, savage Black Americans had been improved by slavery. He advocated for political disenfranchisement and the prohibition of Black people from becoming teachers or pursuing higher education. The young Negro of the South, except where descended from parents of exceptional character and worth, is reverting through hereditary forces to savagery. There's more, but
this is from Blacksburg.
Essence,
yeah, that's rough. Yeah, Billy said
that's the essence,
tough.
bro.
I don't think James Franklin wants to read that.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, we get a bad rap, and rightfully so. But over there, bro, between the essence with in North Carolina, and right there in Virginia, bro. Y'all don't get y'all don't get enough, bro. Y'all don't get enough, man. That's why I'm glad. Remember the Titans came out. That was Virginia, right?
Yeah, Virginia.
Oof.
And then guess where Herman Boone came from though? North Carolina.
Wait,
you know,
North Carolina. Right? See what I'm saying?
Herman Boone had to come up there to Virginia and teach them what was up.
Oh man.
I'm looking at Blacksburg here, music, arts, and culture. Music and nightlife. It's nice. Blacksburg is nice, man. That's tough what Joe just read, though.
Congressional candidate voices support for Virginia Tech professor who was the subject of an alleged racist attack. Oh man.
All right. Well, I mean, again, Lane Stadium, the atmosphere is good. This other stuff, not so good. So
wait, they said a group of white teens. Okay, this is a New York Post story, so they're a little. A group of white teens were cleared of hate crime allegations after a black Virginia Tech presser whined to cops he was a victim of a racist attack when they blasted rap music and dumped snow near his home.
Disgusting.
Whined is a crazy verb to use.
I mean, it's the New York Post. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's like that's read between the lines. You see what kind of the side that they're on there. Tough stuff.
Virginia Tech, we're not picking on you. We could do that with any college. There's no offense.
I was saying nice stuff.
We already done my college is a motherfucking Tigers. Yeah. The only college we haven't done really is TCU, but we gonna do it.
4%, the 4%ers.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised. I mean, 4%, that's better, man. I was one of the people to help build it up. Did I ever tell y'all I was on the application?
Are you the Nick Saban of TCU?
I was on the application for admission in the year 2000. They had me put me on there with like 5 other people. I used to have it right under my desk here. I don't know what that shit is, but anyway.
They put Joel on the application and they were like, as you can see, we've tamed our Negroes. You don't have to worry about them.
I was a campus leader, Van. I'd won the leadership. I won 2 leadership awards, and I was the editor of the student newspaper there.
Go ahead,
that was a big deal.
Like you were the Obama of TCU.
I wouldn't say that, but
Obama was the editor of the Harvard Law Review.
I ended up making a name for myself doing shit not on the football field. I went pro in something other than sports. You know what I'm saying?
I'm writing that down in my notes. Joel's the Obama of TCU.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Writing that down.
I wasn't that. I mean, I was not a popular person. I'm just saying, but I was known to the administration.
There you go. Shout out to you. Last one in our top 5. Army has signed a jersey patch on-field logo sponsorship deal with USAA. So, I mean, Army football is now getting into the game of sponsorship. So. That's college sports right there. If you're ever wondering about if it's pro sports or what, I mean, I think Army football signing a logo sponsorship deal and having an on-field logo says it right there.
I'm a USAA client. Have been for how many years? They do my car and house insurance.
Well, we told you to get AAA, but you turned your nose up to AAA.
USAA, the emergency service is really good. Like I've never had to wait very long. It's really easy. You can just get on your phone, hit the app, bam. USAA, man, it's a good bank.
USA.
Hey,
listen to the show. Maybe sponsor.
Yeah, man, come on, throw us a little cake, man, so they can do this field day we never gonna do.
We're going to do the field day. One last thing before we get out of here. One big debate. This is Joel and Van in the group chat where, just quickly, Jalen Brunson taking less money to win a championship obviously is a big sticking point, talking point, whatever you want to say, throughout the week. Joel, Van on opposite sides of the line here talking about Jalen Brunson. Van, I'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts when you hear this Jalen Brunson talk?
It's not even that we on opposite sides of the line. Is that the NBA has a salary cap.
Yeah.
Right.
And it has a salary cap that has a second apron. Will you explain the second apron to people, Tate?
You're talking to the wrong guy. I'm not a front office guy. Basically, once you get in past the first apron and get in the second apron, you're in trouble. That's all I know. All I know is you have to trade away all your. You have to. Yeah, it's a hard cap. Yeah.
The second apron is basically a hard cap, right? Yeah. So Joel is right. For years and years and years, You could pay into the luxury. You can pay into the second apron is basically now a hard cap. So any relief that you can give your team's salary is relief that they can use to sign other guys if you want to win. They were talking about the fact that Jalen Brunson did this, right? Jalen Brunson took less money so that the Knicks could sign OG Anunoby, so that the Knicks could sign all of these different players that ended up helping them win the championship. Something that the Knicks winning the championship and Jalen Brunson being the finals MVP has led to Jalen Brunson ascending into NBA superstardom. It has led to Jalen Brunson being put as one of the top 50 NBA players of all time on the Bill Simmons big basketball board of basketball players. It is something to the pyramid. It's something that's led to Jalen Brunson now becoming one of the most known and potentially marketable players in all of the NBA.
Oh yeah, man. Them Knicks, man, you know they're not very famous until they win a championship.
It is the birthing right now nationwide of a brand new basketball star, and Joel thinks it was a stupid thing to do.
That is inaccurate. I mean, in the maximum. Okay. So first of all, this is why I remember. I was like, when Van got on my nerves, dog. Where he threw my tweet back at me. Okay, the one that
because you were arguing about this online.
Yeah, I argued about it online.
Remember what you said last week, though. You weren't going to argue anymore.
Just don't even get me started.
Took about 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I told you they annoyed me so much on Blue Sky. I think I might be done with Blue Sky.
Oh wow.
I'm sick of them motherfuckers, dog.
No more.
You can't say shit, man.
Where else you have to go at this point?
Do you know what the argument was? I just said something about Twitter, and somebody was like, "Wow, I'm surprised you're over there. That's run by a Nazi." And I was just like, "Well, look, I understand people who could, if that's what they want to do. I say I'm sort of the mind, and I know that I'm not being literal. I'm being figurative. I was like, I believe the people own Twitter. I think it was basically about as close to a public utility as you could get for a social media app. And I still know a lot of people on there that I like. I let it go until you motherfuckers brought me back onto Twitter. And so anyway, but the whole point.
So it's our fault.
The whole point was that I could
with accountability.
The whole point was that Twitter
We're Cincinnati.
The thing about Twitter, the thing about Twitter is like, all right, look, I'll do it. I think about leaving it all the time. And on Blue Sky, it was like, oh, you sound like a right-wing chud and so on and so forth and all this other shit.
Whoa.
Calling me a chud.
I didn't know they talk like that on Blue Sky.
I was like, bro, what the fuck? I'm not of your culture. I don't even know what the fuck a chud is, okay? And then I'm just like, it's all these white people.
Obama TCU also might be a right-wing chud.
Coming at me over some bullshit. Like, it's not even, I don't think it's that deep. And again, as I was trying to say, as a black man in this country, I'm making a series of. Did you just hear who the president of Virginia Tech was a few minutes ago? Once upon a time, like black people are constantly making decisions about institutions and people that hate us, and products run by people who hate us. And I'm trying to be. I don't have the time as a consumer to divvy up. Well, man, they were racist here. One time, I boycotted Chick-fil-A. I didn't say shit about it. But I just didn't go to Chick-fil-A for a long time. And one day I was at work with my dude at the AJC, and I didn't know he was gay at the time. You know what I'm saying? But as I was like, he was like, "You want to go to lunch?" And I was like, I'm trying not to go there, man, whatever. And he's like, "Well, shit, I'm gay and I'll eat Chick-fil-A." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? Let's go to Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? So I started eating Chick-fil-A.
I told you what my little brother told me.
What's that?
I never told y'all what my little brother said. My little brother came out here, was driving around. I was like, "Hey, man, stop at Chick-fil-A." I was like, "I'm not really fucking with Chick-fil-A, bro." He was like, "Why?" He was like, "Why?" He was like, "Why you ain't fucking? I didn't even know y'all had Chick-fil-A in LA." I was like, "Chick-fil-A is anti-LGBT slavery." Excuse me. I said Chick-fil-A is anti-LGBT. And he said they could be pro-slavery. He said they could be pro-slavery.
Oh,
He wants
man.
that chicken sandwich.
And I'm fucking with the chicken. That chicken is too good.
Yeah.
I just had to laugh.
Peanut
was
oil.
Had to laugh.
It was good. I remember when it was a big deal to get Chick-fil-A. They have it at the mall. That was the only place you could get Chick-fil-A when I was
Yeah, I used to have to
And then they
drive
saw-
all
when
the way to Raleigh to get Chick-fil-A when I was a
Mhm.
kid. Yeah.
It's crazy. And now when they started making their own little Chick-fil-A's, I'm like, nigga, we up, nigga. The crazy
Yeah.
shit. But then I
Crazy.
didn't know what they had going on. So you
Right.
say all that to say, what about the salary cap?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. It was about, we were talking about Twitter anyway. Well, all right, yeah. So the whole point of this is that, so people were getting on my nerves about it. But then so Van throws that tweet into our group chat, and I said, and he didn't say anything. Like, he just throws the tweet in there. And so a little bit later, I say, surprised at how controversial the sentiment was. Van responds, because you don't understand teamwork or the salary cap. It's tough. And that tough really set me off. I was like, this
It all comes back
everybody,
to that.
I was like, that this tough is
You were the
so,
kid in the cherry
it's
shirt.
so
all of a sudden.
disrespectful. Yeah, that was the cherry shirt. When he said it's tough, I was like, this motherfucking time. So now I had to argue with Van. And so I was going back and forth with him and all these other people. And I'm like, look, bro, I understand the reality of the salary cap. I'm not a dummy. I get that Jalen Brunson did it this way and it paid off. Good for him. My larger point is that A, I don't think the salary cap should exist. And B, in a world in which the salary cap exists, I just don't think, and if I were a union member to work for the NBA Players Union, I'd be like, let's not praise us taking less money to the benefit of the owner. You know what I mean? Like it's baseball doesn't have a salary cap, for instance, right?
We're about to see.
Yeah, we're about to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, look, man, do you want, like, you asking the players, do you want to win? I'm talking to the players, do you want to win or not? Why can't you put your money up, dog? Like, why I got to give money back? You're the billionaire. I only have, at best, I've got 15 years to make this money. This is family money you've got, and you've expanded it or whatever. I don't think I should have to take a haircut for you. And I literally just saw this video of Dwayne Wade talking about looking back on forfeiting like $20 million to bring in Bron and Chris Bosh and Udonis Haslem. And he said, I remember he said, money don't come back, people. You can make more, but you ain't getting that money back. You can't recruit money. And remember, Wade is a co-owner of the Jazz now. And he was like, I don't think I would have done that now. Like, if someone on the other side of it, I didn't have to give that money up. So congratulations for Jalen Brunson.
But the money he gave up ended up going to LeBron, which is why he's probably.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron just left their ass. He's went back to Cleveland.
So yeah, I think that's an excellent example. This is what I would say. Number one, I'm for capping everybody's money. The only thing that to me is different is that I am. Like,
what?
if I was president, if I was president, I would tax you at 90% everything you made over $3 million, right?
Yeah.
And then I would build roads and schools and give people health care.
That's what's up.
So that's not a thing. But so I do think it's an unfair situation that in the aggregate that the players are capped and the owners aren't. In an open market, LeBron James is probably making $300 million a year, right? You see other leagues, soccer leagues, where the players do make that. The question then would be
Cristiano Ronaldo. We talked about it last week.
Ronaldo, right? The question would be is if he made $300 to $400 million a year, I'm saying, is would there be an NBA? The Saudis have when you look at that league, they have a sovereign wealth fund that like is trillions of dollars. So like it's not, the money isn't,
and they're just sports washing their money.
Yeah,
it's sports washing their money. It's tied to the price of oil. But all of that's a separate argument. It's an economic argument about how viable any of this stuff would be if there weren't some kind of controls on it. That's it, but I'm not even getting into that argument. What I'm saying is, even in the case of Dwayne Wade, I could see what Dwayne Wade was talking about, because when LeBron James came, Dwayne Wade was already a champion. Dwayne Wade, those two championships in Miami didn't really do anything for Dwayne Wade. They didn't. He won championships as the second guy on the team.
Yeah.
And
but was really the first guy on the first team. Like the year they lost to Dallas, he was kind of the first guy still. He just didn't get treated
I
like
get
that.
it. So I'm saying is from a
you
legacy
don't like
standpoint.
Brian Tate. It be coming out sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you fuck.
No, I just tell the truth. I mean, I watched.
Yeah, okay.
So
I mean, the North Carolina Jordan thing, I don't know if it's that or the essence of
whatever
what,
the fuck it is, you're not fucking with him.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I watch.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that, like, in that situation, if you're looking at him and the championships, I mean, being a 3-time champion is a lot different than being a 1-time champion, but even still, you have 2 championships where you were the second guy. It was all about LeBron James. If those championships didn't really do anything for your legacy, then the money is more valuable to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Jalen Brunson and you go from, I am not a champion as the lead dog on an NBA franchise, to being vaulted into conversations with a rarefied air of guys, to being in a situation where you scored 45 in an elimination game, and the last guy to do some shit like that was a guard was Michael motherfucking Jordan. So where people are talking about you alongside Dirk, alongside other guys who were able to lead their team to championships as lead players.
Giannis, Kawhi.
Yeah, Giannis, Kawhi. That's worth it. That's worth it for him. For Dwayne Wade, it might not be worth it because Dwayne Wade might look back on it and go, yo, I played 2 different years with this guy. He got all the glory, and I basically paid him. But for somebody like Jalen Brunson, he has now been elevated to Dwayne Wade's status because of what just happened. So, like, the question is, as right now, as Dame Lillard right now, if he would pay $30 million for an MVP.
I don't know, but see, the thing is, so ask Tom Brady. Tom Brady cut Bob Kraft a break on deals for years. Like he played with not the talent that a quarterback of his talent and success probably demanded, but he gave the Patriots a break on his contract so that they could build out the team. And he was pissed. He ended up being pissed, even though he won championships, but it still frustrated him. And then at the end of the day, when he wanted a long-term contract, they were like, nah. And that's how he ended up in Tampa Bay. So again,
I get that. But there is no, and I get how he feels. There is no way to objectively argue that didn't work out for Tom Brady. He has 7 fucking Super Bowls. Yeah. That is so OD. That is worth.
He may think he could have got 9 or 10. He may think he could have got 9 or 10.
But 9 or 10 if they pay him more and they have less for the team?
Yeah, I mean,
obviously not.
Well, he's gonna be like you said you were going to take this money to make the team better, and you didn't. And that's the thing about the Jalen Brunson thing. It worked out for Jalen. It does not always work out like that for every athlete that's willing to.
Also, his godfather is the one who's running the team, so like he does have a little bit of trust there.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the same for everybody else, and you can make that sacrifice. And it probably might not work out. And Tom Brady and Dwayne Wade show you that even if you do make that sacrifice, it's like, yeah, man, but that was $20 million, though. Like, they're still sitting around on that shit.
I understand that. I completely get it. Both Tom Brady and Dwayne Wade are fabulously wealthy from money that they've made, and also make a shit ton of money off the court and off the field because of the celebrity that has come to them from the fact that they were premier players in the league that they played in. Now, I'm not saying that people should take less money. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that anyone should take less money. I'm not take less money for nothing. Like, what I remember one time they asked Ricky Henderson, they was like, yo, Ricky, there's some talk that they might, restructure your contract after this season. Are you okay with that? And Ricky Henderson said, well, it depends on what you mean by restructure. Rest in peace. That's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, man.
So I get it. I completely understand what you're talking about. I get it. What I'm saying though is that when you are playing sports, if you are playing sports, legacy is a part of that. Yeah. Especially if you are a Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Legacy is a part of that. Like, as right now,
he just secured his legacy for sure.
Right. Ask Russell Westbrook what he would pay.
Again,
what an NBA championship would be worth. Ask we're talking about worth, right?
It doesn't work like that for everybody else. It doesn't. It's like the thing is,
I know it doesn't work like that
was
for
on
everybody else.
Seed in the East. Like, he got lucky.
Let me ask you a question. He was on the third, but I mean, Russell Westbrook and different players. Like Russell Westbrook was in the finals.
Okay.
Like even had he won that finals. Ask Charles Barkley what an NBA championship would be worth
Charles
right
Barkley
now.
always says that he's glad he took. Wait, I think doesn't Charles Barkley pretty been clear about? I would rather have the money than the championship. I would not sacrifice the champion. I would not sacrifice the money for a championship, but I would like to have had a championship.
He's also making tons of money.
Nobody thinks he doesn't. He doesn't look at Robert Horry or anybody else and be like, he's like Charles Barkley still.
Robert Horry is
different.
Robert Horry is not in this conversation.
Like,
Robert Horry is
I don't care about your
Robert Horry is not in this
conversation. We're
talking
about 1A guys.
Okay.
We're talking about 1A guys that never quite get there, and what is it worth to them?
Yeah.
Because you can live and you can be rich and all of that stuff like that. And that means a lot. But there's also a time of this. You can make money for the rest of your life on all different types of things. Dwayne Wade could invest into a liquor brand.
I mean, bro,
because he is Dwayne Wade. Hold on, listen. Because he is Dwayne Wade and end up making more money than he did his entire Junior Bridgman. All of these people, they made so much money.
I mean,
but what you can't ever do once it's over is do the things on the court and the field that are only there while you're playing. That's
and Dwayne Wade is saying, I had all that, and I really wish I had that $20 million back. And again, Jalen Brunson can do it, and I'm glad it worked out for him. I was excited to see the Knicks win. And if you watched Tailgate last week, you said that I thought they were going to win. You thought I said they were going to win the series, right? We didn't talk.
I thought it was a great series. And I think for Jalen Brunson, I mean, you talk about like American stars. I think he has solidified he's one of them.
But he was fortunate. Some injuries broke right.
He bet on himself.
And he bet on himself, and he worked out. It's amazing. Everybody's not going to be Jalen Brunson.
And also when it was time to be a
Tiger,
when it was time to be a Tiger, he was a motherfucking tiger, bro. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know what Joel's talking about.
I mean, I'm excited for Jalen Brunson.
Shout out to his
Crunch time legend.
Shout out to everybody.
Don't the rest of y'all take that example and think that you're gonna be Jalen Brunson? Take the money.
Yeah, you're saying it's more of an anomaly than the rule.
Yeah, that's an anomaly. Take the money if you get the option.
Well, that's a last. I think that's a nice last thought there for everybody. A fun debate, a fun show. Thanks again to Jeffrey Kessler for coming on the show. I thought he was great, breaking down his point of view on what happened with Brendan Sorsby. And this might be the last time we talk about Brendan Sorsby. So if you don't know who he is, we spent about 3 weeks trying to figure out the situation. We did our best on here on Ringer Tailgate. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out to all the Gators out there for hanging out with us during the offseason. And we will see you all next week. Must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE in Y or text HOPE in Y in New York. For Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867.